to this game is that you've got to delay greatness. Chelsea Gray, we can't allow her to be able to really do what she does easily. Make her work. And tonight, I've got to believe that Alicia Gray is going to have the matchup call with Chelsea Gray. Gray on Gray. Now, the second one is play smart and aggressive basketball. That's keeping yourself out of foul trouble. Be efficient offensively. And do not let L.A. dictate the aggressiveness and the tempo of this game.
Gray on Gray, which is the wardrobe of choice for the officials. And polyester, our officials tonight. By Forsberg will be tossing it up. Batu Sissoko, Stevens, and Daryl Humphrey. Nneka Ogwumike and Izzy Harrison jumping it up. And the toss goes to Reagan. Boy, that is good. All right.
That's a hustle play, and that's on a sprained ankle.
No.
I just hustled after the loose ball and a sprained ankle.
It's protect the talent.
I beat Candace Parker to the loose ball.
I know.
I thought the Wings might actually ask me to put on an old uniform today. Crystal Robinson and I were ready and available. Aaron was ready and available for a quick 10-day.
Greg Bibb said, we're going to put a mic on her and let her go out in the court for you. I agree with that. Here are the Wings on offense. They want to attack every chance they get. You got to keep good space on the floor, and that's a good way to start with a three. That's
great. Now, if the game was just won and lost on the first possession, the Wings could count it as a W. You know, we're seeing right now, I think, some great play out of Sydney Weiss out of Oregon State. You know, sure, first couple of years as we see the Candace Parker to Nneka Ogwumike connection there. But Sydney Weiss struggled the first couple of years.
Right.
The WNBA was a big adjustment for her, and this last stretch of games has been really fruitful for her.
You know, we just saw a great pass from Parker. She averages almost 4 assists a game for her career. Outstanding passer. Wings will have it.
I heard that she calls herself an honorary Ogwumike.
That's good.
She thinks she's part of one of the sisters of that family.
I'll tell you, the sisters are very talented. We'll see Shanae Ogwumike later tonight. The other two sisters who played at Rice, they have to work. They have jobs.
I would really appreciate if Mr. and Mrs. Ogwumike would have some more children, especially daughters. All of college basketball and women's basketball would really appreciate if they would make that commitment to the game.
Spent some time with Mrs. Ogwumike last time they were here, and very proud of her daughters for good reason. Kayla Davis elevating on the shot. Last 3 games, she has struggled shooting, so that's welcome. Parker out front, Glory Johnson on her. That's a nice matchup. Rough and craft. Izzy will pull it away. And I love how quickly the Wings try to get in their offense. Fall away, Enrique Ogwumike.
LA is a team that everyone in the WNBA knows that you have to force the play in the half court. So much of their offense comes in transition. So when you can create the opportunity for yourself to score in transition against this team, you've got some good things coming.
Fans wanted to travel on Nneka Ogwumike, not going to get it. That was just a good flat-out move. Watch the Wings. Keep an eye as they try to look for the backside a lot of times in their offense versus L.A.
Well, they have to, because this is an L.A. team that is so explosive in their rotations defensively that you've got to be ready to move the ball off of some of those defenders that are going to try and blow up plays off the backside.
Good heads-up play by Enrique Ogwumike, just backing that out. Shot clock at 2. Glory Johnson can't get it. Nice save again. Alicia Gray with a great hustle.
I tell you, L.A., it's surprising that they're not a better defensive rebounding team right now.
They're near the bottom. Ogwumike, no. But look at Nneka Ogwumike running the floor. And now Enrique had to pick her up. Parker for 3. Once again, Wings, when they get on defense, you got to find those shooters for L.A. immediately.
You have to. The entire L.A. roster, look at their bench right now. They are an all-star team. The options you have to score can sometimes actually be more of a curse than a blessing, because anybody can get off on any night. As you see Izzy Harrison, one of our favorites.
There you go.
Finding an opportunity for that high post shot.
The last 4 games, Izzy's been outstanding, shooting 53% from the floor. Wings lead it by 7. Parker sees the double, goes to the left hand. She can go left or right hand. Kayla Davis with a rebound. Yesterday in practice was interesting. Brian Agler stressed continuing to play with energy. At times he stopped practice and said, I feel the energy draining.
Well, not only is that the identity that Brian wants that the Dallas Wings have, but he knows that's part of the identity that's consistent in L.A., and you've got to match it.
Lori Johnson deep in the corner, knocks down the three.
The Wings are on fire right now.
Wings 5 of 8 shooting. L.A. just 1 of 5 here in the early goings. Agumake tries to get it to Parker and throws it away. In the 5-game win streak, Los Angeles has been hot, averaging almost 21 assists a ball game, but they throw that one away. On the season, they turn it over just about 15 times a contest.
Which is actually, I think, pretty high
Yeah.
for this experienced veteran team in L.A.
With 5 on the shot clock, Kayla Davis tries to force the shot.
That's game plan defense out of L.A. Great transition defense by Dallas, which is a huge key to victory, I know, for the Wings.
Moving balling. Lori Johnson in the corner, off the iron, no, into the hands of Parker, gets it over to Weiss. Parker running the floor, tracks it down.
She loves the fadeaway in these situations.
Good job by Lori Johnson picking her up on the break. Weiss from the corner for 3, knocks it down.
What a pass out of the double team out of Candace Parker. Everyone knows Candace Parker can score from about anywhere on the floor, but I think her passing ability is undervalued by many people in the league.
Sydney Weiss has taken on a big, big role for this Sparks team. Spacing not good there. Gray has to get it to Harrison. Timeout's going to be called by Brian Agler just because the offense was a little shaky. Enrique Ogbowale, 2 for 3 shooting the basketball, including this cute little fall away. She's got 5. And the Wings lead the Sparks by 7. Wings with a 7-point advantage over the L.A. Sparks. As we mentioned, this is a very important night here inside the College Park Center. Katie Engelson standing by with a special guest. Katie?
Thank you, Ron. Well, it is the first ever recovery night in professional sports, and I am with Michael Moulton, the host of the M2 The Rock Talk Show. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you so much. What a great night. Great energy tonight.
It's a lot of fun. What are your thoughts on this WNBA experience so far?
So far, so good. I am a huge Dallas Wings fan, and so far, so good. We're putting it on them.
For those who may not be familiar with your show, can you share with us a little about what it is?
Sure. We talk about drug addiction. We talk about alcoholism. And we talk about hurts, habits, and hang-ups. But most importantly, we talk about solutions. And we talk about solutions other than drugs and alcohol and how to live life on life's terms.
What does it say about the Dallas Wings and that they are willing to put on a night like this, a night that's so important to so many people?
It's so great that they support us because, addiction has a bad stigma that we're bad people, and we're not. We're good people. Recovery's not about getting good, it's about getting well. And we thank the Dallas Wings so much for letting us be a part of something so special.
You had Dallas Wings center Amani McGee Stafford on your show the other day. What was she like?
Absolutely incredible. Completely honest, transparent, gave me a lot of hope, gave a lot of people hope, especially a lot of women hope.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
So much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And once again, that was Michael Moulton, the host of the M2 The Rock Talk Show. Ron?
That's good stuff there. It's just very important what he does. Now the Wings still with the advantage. Here's Parker up front. Shot clock at 3. Working on Lori Johnson. Tipped into the hands of Enrique Ogbowale. Wings have been very active. Ogbowale takes Weiss strong to the hole.
She kept Weiss on her heels the entire time in that transition. And Weiss was never able to anchor her down and really stop that ball.
I would think that when they have that match, that Enrique is going to take that to her advantage.
Well, Enrique, I think, as many people out there have watched her play, would have to agree that she is as strong of a contender as anybody for that Rookie of the Year. And what she has to do night in, night out, as you see her nail that 3, is be the focus of everybody's defensive game plan. and she is growing up on the fly right before our eyes.
Well, she's got 10 in the ball game, despite being doubled and triple teamed. And yesterday in practice, Brian Agler spent about 45 minutes of just working on people doubling her. That's a good move by Tiara Ruffin-Pratt. But they worked on that because they said, Seattle did it against us. Everybody's going to do that against us.
Everyone is. And she's one of the players for the Dallas Wings that is a true playmaker. And she is their Chelsea Gray. And in a lot of ways, Brian Agler has talked about how much Enrique reminds him of a young Chelsea Gray.
Sydney Weiss taken off the dribble by Davis, who cannot get the layup to go down. Over to Weiss. She's a shooter. On the move? No. Parker, rebound, put back.
That's the transition game that LA really creates. It's not always the first shot that they are so successful with in transition. It's the second. The offensive rebound. They flatten defenders and get them under the rim and open up great rebounding positioning.
Brooke McCarty-Williams set to check into the lineup for the Dallas Wings, and Maria Vadiva will come in for the Sparks. Glory left alone for three. Got it.
That's LA's game plan. They're going to leave players like Glory open and see if she can make those shots consistently, or if they can read off the ball opportunities to bust that up.
Well, Derek Fisher, head coach of the Sparks, going with 3 substitutions. Tough shot by the all-star Chelsea Gray.
Point God.
Yeah.
She is a point God. I'll tell you what she's doing is special. She is growing into one of, I think, the best point guards to ever play our women's game.
I like the way she uses her size to create field goal attempts. On top, Johnson, Kayla Davis, shot clock at 2. Oh, my! Count it and give her an extra.
I knew that was going in. It came off her hand perfect.
Wings with their biggest lead of the ball game. Pull-up jumper, no. Parker had position. Loose ball foul is going to be called. And that'll be against the Wings. Now, the Sparks are on a roll. They would love to get one of the top 2 spots. You get the double bye, and currently they're in the number 4 slot, but only 1 game in the loss column behind the Aces. And look at 2 games in the loss column behind Washington.
Well, I mean, with the WNBA and the way the playoffs work, you've got to fight to get into that top 8. And you can't count Dallas out yet. They have every opportunity with what's ahead of them to climb into that spot and find a way into the playoffs. How big would that be?
There's Vadiva. She has got a solid game. 24 points in the first game she played this year. Then she went and played for Russia in Eurobasket, hurt her knee, and just really getting back in the swing of things.
Well, I've had people ask, like, why isn't Kehlani Brown playing very much? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because of Vadiva. Vadiva brings the same size that Kehlani Brown brings, but also brings a little additional added element of experience and three-point shooting, as well as her rim protection and paint presence.
Both teams using a lot of substitutions. Gustafson guarding Vadiva. Count it, and the basket will count, and the foul.
Well, that's exactly what I mean right there. That is a 6'6", 6'7" playmaker that handled it with such poise. And Kehlani Brown is going to develop her game. I've really been impressed with that. But this is something right now that Vadiva has been doing for years. And look at that confidence. She's like, weight room. And I'm excited. I'm so excited to see this player. I'll tell you, I know there's a lot of GMs out there that try to get Vadiva on their roster.
Oh, I agree.
But she's happy in L.A.
Well, she had only 5 games coming into tonight. 3 of those were in double figures. Wings 10-point advantage, now cut down to 5. Inside of 30. Right, count it. Brooke McCarty-Williams, the shortest player on the court.
The hometown player. She's Texas-born and bred. She's tiny, but I'm telling you, she's mighty. And look at this. This is great timing in the release for a player like her. And being ready to absorb contact and not have that shot blocked.
Completes the three-point play. She is now 7 of 8 from the line for the season. 5-second difference shot on the game clock. Lead is at 8. Lena Beard back in the lineup after missing some time for L.A. That's a welcome addition for them. Outstanding defensive player. The southpaw with the jumper knocks it down.
Well, that's a scoring element that they've honestly been missing out of that position. And Elena Beard, that was a question mark when she returned. Was she going to have that confidence scoring?
Amani McGee Stafford, no. Megan Gustafson at the buzzer won't go.
Was that a pass?
We'll go with it.
Almost an assist.
We'll tell Amani it was a pass. Wings shoot 50%. The Sparks shoot 56%. We've got a dandy in Arlington. Wings lead by 6 p.m. 1 quarter in the books.
Welcome back to the College Park Center. The Wings with a 6-point lead over the Sparks here at the end of the first quarter. And joining me is Wings assistant coach Aaron Phillips. Well, Coach, Enrique Ngumuale hit a corner 3 to start off the scoring, and she really didn't stop the scoring. How does she help fuel this offense?
I mean, she's just a prolific scorer. She can score multiple ways, get inside the lane. She can shoot the 3, but, I hope we don't fall in love with the 3 too much. I mean, we're shooting it really well. I'd love to see us keep attacking and obviously on the defensive end get some stops and get our transition game going from that.
Thank you for your time, Coach. We appreciate it. Ron?
All right, Enrique Ogumawale, an outstanding first quarter for Enrique. Played the entire 10 minutes. So did Alicia Gray. Enrique with 10 points in that span. And LA will have the basketball to be in quarter number 2, along with Katie Engelson and head coach Reagan Peebley. I'm Ron Coolin. Good to have you with us tonight. 5 home games left, including tonight, 4 after this evening. Nice cut, Alexis Jones, the former Baylor star.
Well, when Vadiva comes in, you'll see LA run a lot of horns action because she's such a threat from up there. They run her as a point forward position. That's a little loop action that they found, and the size difference with Brooke McCarty-Williams really kind of did not help in that situation.
Michaela Davis. Davis jump stop, throws it away into the hands of Jones. Brooke McCarty-Williams picks her up, running the floor. Well rejected by Amani McGee Stafford out of Gumake.
Great job, I think, by Imani, just keeping up with pace here in this transition. We see here the steal by Alexis Jones, but Imani Stafford McGee did not give up on the play and really committed to creating a numbers situation for their transition needs.
16th block for Imani McGee Stafford. Gustafson playing in front of her parents. Got it. No basket. They're going to call the foul on Beard.
Elena Beard is not happy, and she is a reigning defensive player of the year, two-time defensive player of the year, and I think she's got a good argument here. Her feet are set. She's outside that restricted arc and was pretty squared up to Enrique in that possession.
Well, this is only her 8th game. She's been out since July 12th. 9-time all-defensive team, Elena Beard.
There's players that I love watching play in games, but she's a player I love to watch practice.
Kayla Davis tried to force the pass. Here comes Beard. Looks for Stafford. No. Gustafson tried to keep it alive. Last touch, though, by Meg. Alicia Gray will come back into the line. As a coach, you have 8 players. Talk about what goes through Brian's mind about minutes, getting right people in, making sure nobody gets tired.
Well, one of the big things he has to think about is, as we talked about, is protecting foul trouble. So he's communicating to his players about be smart with your fouls. Play aggressive, but be smart, especially some of his key players. But his rotation really has been kind of 8 deep anyway.
Right.
Now it just changes a little bit when you don't have a Kayla Thornton available and some of those key players that are so important to his team.
Well, on one end, Vadiva got her 7th point of the ball game. Then Imani McGee Stafford takes her strong to the hole, gets the basket of the foul.
I think one thing also you have to remember is Anigwe was only about a 4 or 5 minute player a game so far, so they weren't too reliant on her contribution yet. They're going to get there because she's a phenomenal player and just a rookie. She's going to have a long career ahead of her. But Anigwe was not yet solidified in her rotation, so I think it's not as drastic of a consequence as it could have been.
Chelsea Gray, Alicia Gray got lost in the shuffle. Here comes Agumake, Gray on the right side. Monty was calling for it. They wanted to slap the ball. That's what they practiced yesterday. Made the quick pass. Here is Neka. Or Enrique, I should say. Quick move.
Surprised at the lack of off-ball tunnel defense that we're not seeing out of L.A. right now.
Count it, and a foul. Chelsea Gray now with 6 points in the ballgame. Foul is on Alicia Gray.
Well, we talk about how good LA is in transition, and when Chelsea Gray has the ball in transition, they're not just good, they're excellent. She's a great decision maker, and when she can get into the tunnel, it is buckets. It's game over right there. You've got to just prevent a foul and make it hard. Don't create a three-point play.
You were talking about how she watches tape of Magic Johnson. Now, obviously, she's not old enough to watch him when he played, but she's almost can see a little bit of her game in what Magic did.
Yeah, well, and when you really watch some of the passing that she does, then you see that Magic element to her game, and I think she's starting to recognize it as well. She searches YouTube for Magic videos, which there's a lot there.
Last game, Chelsea Gray picked up 3 quick personal fouls, no basket, foul on the drive, and didn't get a whole lot of playing time in that Chicago game.
Okay, so what Vadiva just did there was as a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", however tall she is, she just crossed up a point guard. And that's the versatility and the skill set right now that separates her and Kehlani Brown. And that's why I think you're starting to see her make such a huge impact with this team and the type of offense LA runs.
Here, deep in the corner over the outstretched hands of Alicia Gray. Here comes Enrique. Wings have led by 10. LA has not led in this ball game yet. Izzy Harrison scooped out it under the arm of Vadiva.
LA right now is taking a game plan approach to really deny wings. And what that's doing is opening up tunnel attacks for Dallas. And Dallas is exposing it and scoring off it. LA is going to have to adjust.
Vadiva after the missed 3. They are 4th in three-point attempts. The Sparks are 2nd in three-pointers made. Vadiva's going to go out. So you've got to get on their shooters because a lot of them can't shoot the 3. There's the head coach of the LA Sparks. Derek Fisher just celebrated his 45th birthday on Sunday. 18 seasons in the NBA, won 5 NBA titles. He has done an outstanding job. And, you know, you look at who's doing a great job. Coach Thibodeau, obviously, of Washington, and Coach Hughes at Seattle. But Derek Fisher's got to be up there Coach of the Year award right now.
I think so. Well, and he's adapted and adjusted to the WNBA, I think, so well. I mean, this is his rookie year in the WNBA, right? And just because you played doesn't necessarily always make you a great coach, but I think we're seeing him really become a great coach. I've seen him temperament. Sydney Weiss finds another 3. You don't want to let that happen. You don't want to let her get hot. But I've seen Derek Fisher's temperament, I think, calm in games. But he's a player's coach. He advocates for them, and he understands how to balance their minutes. I think they like playing for him.
I think they do, too. They're getting to know each other better, and collective effort on a daily basis has come along, and that's going to be a traveling call. That'll be the 3rd turnover. Yeah, Coach Fisher's done an outstanding job. You know, you think about it, they've had injuries, they've had to build their identity, they had some road games early, and finally you're seeing everything come together. What a perfect time for it to come together.
Well, I think the injuries, actually, they turned it into a blessing. Some younger players had opportunities to build some confidence and get some experience, and they've definitely, through adversity, I think, built chemistry, and as a result of that, we're seeing synergy on the floor.
Kayla Davis over Beard's hands, save into the hands of the Sparks. Beard posting up right side. Agumake runs the floor well. And Nneka could not get the handle on it, but it's going to belong to the Sparks. 5:44 remaining in the opening half. Izzy Harrison looks great in a uniform. Looks even better when she comes to the games. Style setter. Enrique Ogunbowale is on fire so far in this game. You just said a great word to describe it, efficient tonight.
She is being efficient right now, 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point. But here's what I think is happening for Enrique is she's playing with poise. She's not making decisions just because she can. She's making decisions because she should and with purpose. We see these shots right now. They're all over the place. She's getting opportunities on one more passes in the corner. from her teammates playing to the backside. She's attacking down the tunnel a lot, especially from that left side of the floor, down with her right, which is a definite strength of hers.
Well, Enrique Ogunbowale, last 4 games, 3 of them she's had 20-plus points. She's learning not to force shots, and you can see that maturity coming in her game. And Coach Hagler spends a lot of time one-on-one talking with her at practice. Brooke McCarty-Williams tries to get it off the arm of Agumake and does. How many times have we seen Brooke McCarty do that when she played for Texas? Just kind of get in there and just bug you a little bit.
A little gnat. A little gnat. There she is, just buzzing around.
You called her hummingbird, though, earlier.
I did?
I don't think you liked when I said
I must have been in a better mood that day.
There you go. Come on, you just got off vacation. Here's Kayla Davis out front. Enrique, no. Into the hands of Tierra Ruffin-Pratt, going with the headband. Oh, tested by Izzy Harrison.
Okay. Mayberry, you might need to wipe that Nike right off your forehead. I think that just got tattooed right there by a little Izzy Harrison block. But Mayberry answers it perfectly. She just says, no big deal. It had happened before. She just did it again.
Izzy Harrison, that is her 21st block of the season. 18 on the shot clock for the Sparks. Nneka Agumake out front. She has been quiet in this game. Has taken only 2 shots. Gray, the running right-hander, no. Glory Johnson picks up the loose rock. Halfway home here in the second.
Right now we're seeing L.A. with, I think, only 1 offensive rebound in the game so far, which is great job by Dallas and great attention to detail with some of that off-ball defense. That's the second foul that Enrique's drawn in that same situation, right. Understanding and knowing the timing of when to utilize her body and that little touch by a defender and how to sustain the touch and get the foul call.
Are you surprised they're not trying to trap her quicker?
Well, quickie, I like that.
Well, yeah.
But I'll tell you, I think we will see an adjustment for L.A. to trap.
On the drive, Gray with the right hand count, and she'll go to the line. Boy, Chelsea Gray just uses her body so well.
She does, and this is what makes her greatness. I'll tell you. I mean, she goes to her right and she goes to her left about the same efficiency. But she can read when defense has not come off of other players and it's not assist time. She reads so well her layers and when to know when to score and when to pass.
And she will complete the three-point play. She's missed only 4 free throw attempts this entire season, and we are tied at 33. That's the first tie of the ball game. Wings led by 10 in that opening quarter. Harrison with Agumake on her and dragging the foot. That's going to be a travel. That'll be the 5th turnover against Dallas.
Well, I think we see Chelsea Gray right now with her productivity offensively. So much of that has to do in comparison to the other 2 games that L.A. and Dallas have played is Kayla Thornton's not on the floor. Kayla Thornton, who I think has got to be one of the best defenders in the league, is not guarding Chelsea Gray, who is one of the best matchups, I think, in the league against Chelsea.
Oh, showtime for Gray. Can't finish it out. Reaching over the back. Well, it's not going to be on Nneka Agumake. Izzy Harrison looked like she got one in the head.
A lot of times we like to watch replays that end with 2 points or a block shot, but this one's worth watching even though it didn't finish with a make. She gets her with all kind of heavies and crosses and had Kayla Davis on skates.
Well, that's going to be the 3rd personal foul on Izzy Harrison. That's not good news for a team that only has 1 other post player on the bench. Nneka Agumake missing the free throw attempt on the season, solid at 83% from the line.
Well, something you will also probably see Brian do with a short rotation and some foul trouble is instead of taking a player out of the game in this situation, you change who they have to guard. A player that's maybe less of an integral part of the offense who you're not going to be in a position to foul as much.
Now Parker reaches over the back. That'll be her first personal foul, 6th team foul. Sparks with their first lead of the ball game. Let's see if the Wings can get that momentum with that spacing back. Kayla Davis inside. Too much traffic. Over to Gray. Parker runs the floor. Gumake runs the floor. Whistle and a foul.
And that's going to be a technical.
And it will be, as Izzy Harrison going to pick up the foul. That'll be her 4th, and she'll get the tee.
You have to keep your cool in those situations. You absolutely have got to understand that you have 3 fouls. Your team needs you. Yes, you're frustrated, but calm down in those situations. Officials are going to see things differently sometimes. And just the push-off right there is absolutely what they felt they saw was worthy of a call.
Well, take a look at it again. I think what Izzy was complaining about is Nneka Gumake using that left hand a little bit to kind of push her away.
Well, that right there is warranting a technical, easy decision by the official on that. And again, just sometimes 10 breaths. Count to 10.
There you go.
And let it go.
Izzy Harrison has got to be one of the nicest, most down-to-earth people you would ever meet, and totally out of character for her, but I think it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, well, understand it, but again, you're pro, and you've got to understand your team situation right here. And now she's going to have to sit and watch for a minute, 3 minutes, and understand how much her team needs her in that situation.
Right now, an offensive foul is going to be called, and that'll be on Arike Ogunbowale. That'll be her 2nd personal foul. So the Wings getting in a little bit of foul trouble. 2 games versus Los Angeles. The Wings were 15 of 15 from the free throw line. LA was 25 of 28. So a decided advantage for Sparks in both games this season. Nneka Gumake from the corner knocks it down.
So we have 2 contrasting teams right now as far as age goes. We've got one of the youngest teams, or the youngest team in Dallas, and a very veteran team in LA. And you're seeing it right now in the little game within the game. Fouls, keeping your cool and balance.
Arike wanted the foul, not going to get it. Wings led by 10, now down by a half a dozen here in the second.
Welcome back to the College Park Center. The Dallas Wings trailing the Sparks by 6 here in the second quarter, and I am here with a very special guest. This is Viva Chris, who is going into her freshman year of high school, and she is here for a very special reason. Viva, can you share with us what that reason is?
Yes, I'm traveling to all 12 WNBA arenas to conduct research for an academic project called National History Day, and the entire topic for the contest is breaking barriers. And I thought, well, the WNBA breaks barriers. So I wrote a letter to the NBA and the WNBA, and they read it, and that's history.
How did this come about? What made you decide to want to do this Breaking Barriers project?
Well, last year, as part of my advanced curriculum, I had done a project on Wilma Rudolph and individual performance, and this year I decided I'd like to do another one, and the theme was Breaking Barriers. So,
Viva, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and I spoke to Viva earlier, and she says that the Dallas Wings and the College Park Center is her favorite stop so far. Ron, we'll send it back to you.
Well, that's because I found out she's from Pittsburgh. She's a Yinzer.
Well,
she's from Pittsburgh, so she and I just had this connection. Us Burke people,
I don't think it has as much to do with you as the fact that we just put her on TV. Are you kidding? She's going back to high school, and she's a star now. But look, Viva, I am so impressed with you, and this is exactly what the WNBA is supposed to be doing, is creating a platform for women to be role models and mentors and inspire thought like that.
Exactly.
Coming out of Viva. So well done. Viva la Viva.
There you go. By the way, that was the defensive 3 seconds. Wings shot the penalty. Amani, no. Wings trying to stop the bleeding. It'll belong to the Wings. 14 on the shot clock. 2:48 left in the half. Both games this season with LA, the Wings have led at intermission.
Well, in that second game, I think one of the things that was big was the foul trouble was going the opposite direction in this game. LA was in foul trouble, especially with just an important piece of Chelsea Gray in foul trouble in that game in L.A.
Here's Kayla Davis. Let's go back. The Wings got a 10-point advantage. They did it by attacking every chance they got in a little more floor space.
Yeah.
What have they not done?
Well, I think they haven't been able to really get out into transition as of late. L.A. is finding some scores, and Dallas is having to take the ball out from underneath the net. And then I think also L.A. has adjusted in their half-court defense. They're getting into some passing lanes and creating some more congestion in the paint.
Sydney Weiss on top. Very quick shot. Weiss, 67% of her field goal attempts are threes. Fall away, Gray. Almost impossible to stop.
Well, I think if we could get another look at that, Chelsea Gray wasn't even looking at the basket. She was looking at her roller to see if her roller was open.
Gray with 13. Amani McGee Stafford inside. Right-handed hook. No. Gets it back. Loses it. It'll belong to the Wings. Chelsea Gray, the last 3 years, she's averaged over 14 points a ball game. I mean, think about it. Her first 2 years, she had just one start. Ever since then, Gray has started every game. What a great performance by her. Definitely in the running for first team WNBA.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, look, we talked about all of the All-Stars on this LA team and all the veterans and the championships this team and these players have definitely created, as we see an offensive foul push-off by Kayla Davis be called. But I just want to use that example right there of the incredible star power LA has for another case for Enrique to be Rookie of the Year. Enrique is one of the top 15 scorers in the league.
Right.
The rest of the people above her are all-stars.
Exactly. Good point.
She needs to get that award. I think she's playing like it. Obviously, there's a lot of season left, but she is well on her way.
Izzy Harrison with 4 fouls back in the ballgame. Kayla Davis trying to set things up. Here's Enrique. And also Enrique has the ball in her hands when the shot clock's going down a lot. There's that trap we talked about. Wings didn't handle it well on that occasion. But think about it. A lot of the other ones for Rookie of the Year, they've got a lot of stars around them.
They do.
Enrique doesn't have that.
She has a lot of youth around her right now, and unfortunately for Dallas and what Brian Agler's been dealing with all season is his experience is injured. He has a great leader like Taylor Hill, who's unable to play. He's got Skylar Diggins-Smith, who's got incredible leadership and skill set and experience. And so right now it's youth leading youth.
Here's Gray. Oh, French pastry throws it away.
Those are those type of passes that we were saying she's probably got on the replay on her YouTube of Magic Johnson. But unfortunately, I don't think Sydney Weiss was quite ready for that.
I don't think it was either. Enrique Ogunbowale only 1 for her last 4 shooting. Brian Agler holds things up. I'm not sure.
Well, there was a timeout, I think, trying to be called. And even Derek Fisher's on that sideline trying to get the attention of the officials, telling them to look at the sideline, look at what's happening.
Oh, they're going to talk about it. Yeah, Brian Agler was up, but immediately time was called with 55.5 left in the half. Again, Wings led by 10. This match is the biggest lead for the Sparks, trying to win again. They have been so hot since mid-June. Come in having won 5 straight, 6-6 on the road. Derek Fisher getting a little advice from the officiating crew, Mike Forsberg.
Well, I think there's a question about the clock, and if it's correct, whether it's the game clock or the shot clock. And both coaches seem to have seen it the same way.
Derek Fisher holds the all-time record for playoff games played. Brian Agler has the most wins of any professional women's coach. Well, a technical foul is called. Well, they're saying the Wings had 6 players on the court, and they lose the ball. They got the technical. I think if you're currently in this little skid, you should allow them to have 6 players on the court.
I don't think there's like a sympathy rule
There
at any
isn't?
point. No.
I'm going to talk to the commission about that.
Travel uncalled right there.
Chelsea Gray to Izzy Harrison. Clear pack to the basket. Come on, Izzy. Oh, no. And Enrique is going to be fouled by Candace Parker.
You got to think that Izzy right there had vision as she's shocked as she missed that of the Phoenix game. Great impact right here. And how about the guts that Brian Adler has to put Izzy Harrison in the game with 4 fouls? And that's a great impact, great steal. But this is why you follow the play.
Right.
You don't assume anything is made. And I was always taught in a transition situation like that, if there's a miss, it's the third person down the floor that's going to get it. Izzy was the first. That first defender was the second, and the third's in the best position to get that O-board.
Well, Izzy missed the layup right in front of her niece, Jan, who's sitting underneath the basket, an 8th grader at a local school here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
That family's genes are something else, I'll tell you. They've got some great people, both first and foremost, but they also have some incredible athletes in all different types of sports.
There's Izzy Harrison, Dennis Harrison, NFL great.
She has sisters who played high-level volleyball, other sister who plays basketball. There's just a lot of tremendous talent in her family. And great job by Imani right there, and sticking to the game plan and running out at Candace and not allowing her to find an easy shot at 3.
8-second difference, shot of the game clock closing in on halftime. 10 on the shot clock. Izzy in the corner. One dribble, sweeping right hand. Parker's got it. Shot clock turned off. McCarty Williams with the steal. Enrique with 5. The scoop. Enrique over the wall. Final shot at the buzzer, and it won't go. The defensive strategy he has, number 1, guard the ball in the basket first. Always stresses that in every practice.
Well, it seems kind of simple, right? Like, basketball's simple. You can't score without a ball.
There you go.
And you can't score without a basket. So if you can take care of those 2 things, you're going to set yourself up for, I think, a good chance to win a game.
Take a look at the leading scores. Chelsea Gray, 14 points. Nneka Agumake and Bediva both with 7 points each. But, you know, Nneka Agumake has only taken 3 shots. That's what I love about her game. One of the parts I love about her game. She doesn't force the game. I mean, she lets the game come to her.
Well, she also doesn't build her identity just off of scoring. She knows there's so many other ways that she can impact the game and help her team.
Here's Chelsea Gray out front, Alicia Gray on her. Pick set by Agumake. She rolls to the hole.
Dallas has been on that little set a couple of times this game and created some nice deflections and steals out of it, being really ready to protect that high-low.
Great play, though, by the Sparks when they go high to Parker, and Agumake, after setting the pick, does that quick dive to the basket. Shot on the way, off the mark, rebound into the hands of Enrique. Ruffin Pratt trying to go around a bunch of picks. Izzy Harrison's been playing with 4 personal fouls.
One of the things I feel like LA really adjusted to from game 1 to game 2, there's that off-ball defense that LA uses so well to blow up plays, but they decided to ball pressure point guards a lot more in game 2. And that impacted, I think, the play of Kayla Davis quite a bit. We're seeing ball pressure early this half on her.
And that foul's going to be on Kayla Davis. You know, on defense, that's what L.A. looks to do. They look to always come across and blow up your offensive play.
Yeah, their off-ball defense is so good, and that's a more evidence of the type of synergy they have and that chemistry off the floor, how it's producing on the floor.
Here's Nneka Agumake out of Stanford, the 29-year-old, 6-time All-Star, has really expanded her game. Career high in rebounds and three-point percentage this season.
I need somebody from the WNBA office, seriously, someone needs to explain to me why Nneka was not selected to be in the three-point shooting contest.
I know.
At the All-Star game. She's one of the best three-point shooters in the league, and I don't care if she's a post player or however you want to define her. She's a great three-point shooter, and I think that's something she wanted to have happen, too.
Yeah. And she's worked at that so much. Shot clock at 2. Alicia Gray for 3. Corey Johnson's got it. Wisely backs it out. And Alicia Gray stepped out of bounds. That'll be a turnover. That'll be the 11th turnover for the Dallas Wings in this ballgame. They come in averaging just over 15 a contest.
Sierra Ruffin-Pratt had a lot to do with creating that turnover, and her role is really valued by, I think, Derek Fisher and Fred Williams over there on Derek's staff with her defensive presence.
Nneka Ogwumike with an easy 10-foot jumper, and the lead is now expanded to 7.
Important possession for Dallas right here, not allowing L.A. to really establish the tempo and the mindset of this half.
Once again, without the services of Kayla Thornton over the next 2 games. Also without the services of Christina Nigwe. She is going to be out 2 games. We'll miss our next contest at home against New York, but they'll come back for the Connecticut game, but Kayla Davis will have to sit out that game, part of her suspension. Here is Izzy up top over Parker. Glory can't get it. Ogwumike keeps it alive into the hands of Gray. Chelsea Gray out of Duke, the 26-year-old. Got it.
That looked like Enrique, didn't it? I mean, that's, again, the similarities between these two type of players, and I've got to give Brian Agler a lot of credit for being able to identify and how to build a team and how important that position is. And Chelsea Gray has worked so hard at developing her game on her own terms. She has greatness in her blood.
Sparks with their biggest lead of the game at 9:48:39 with 7:45 left to play in quarter number 3. Want to remind you, next Wings home game will be Friday night against the New York Liberty when it will be Cool for School night. Presented by Texas Life Insurance. Each fan will receive a limited edition Dallas Wings drawstring backpack just in time for back to school. Individual tickets start as low as $9. Well, of course, we have a couple of Baylor players in Kalani Brown, Alexis Jones playing, the Baylor faithful. Some of the great fans showing up at the Farrell Center in Waco. And they usually go there to see her, Lauren Cox, who will be, I believe, the #1 draft pick in the WNBA draft next year.
She sure has a good shot of it, and I sure like seeing her right here instead of when I usually have to see her. She's a phenomenal player, and I think everyone took a huge sigh of relief when they heard that her injury in the championship game was nothing serious or long-term. And I know Dallas is trying to position themselves. I think they have a good shot at a Lauren Cox, as they should. She's a phenomenal player.
What a great addition it would be. Gray has to give it up. Ruffin-Pratt got the 3. Her first 3 of the ball game and her 23rd of the season. 2 games versus Dallas this year, only 2 of 12 shooting. She's 2 of 3 tonight.
That's a big part of her development as a player.
Oh, yeah.
How she's grown in her confidence and dependability from the three-point line.
Shot clock in 4. The 3 by Glory. Oh, my. That'll work.
Well, that's a little bit of fool's gold. You don't want to count on always making those type of threes, but, hey, you'll take them when they do go.
But it starts on the defensive end for the Wings. Gray. Nice job by Glory Johnson jumping out, but that leaves wide open Candace Parker. Can't make him pay.
Get out!
See an early step-up screen in transition for Kayla Davis as she's able to snake her way all the way to the rim and finish the basket.
Kayla Davis with 8 points in the ball game. 7 points away from 500 for her career. Alicia Gray is going to be tired having to guard Chelsea Gray all night. Here's Parker in the corner. Ogwumike posting on the left block. Parker, no. Rebound, Glory Johnson.
Right there is one of Chelsea Gray's favorite alignments. When Nneka is setting an on-ball screen for her, and she has Candace out stretching the defense in the corner. The tough guard.
Yeah, now Parker's got to guard Ogwumike. Izzy Harrison, though. Ogwumike with her 4th rebound of the ball game.
Good defense. Nneka loves up and under. She loves to try and get defense to leave their feet. Really disciplined defense there by Izzy Harrison.
And that was one of the keys for Dallas yesterday in practice. Don't go for Nneka Agumake's pump fakes.
Yeah, Shanae and Nneka both are great at that, and just trying to use a little pump fake and get defense to leave their feet and open up some angles and some seams to be able to attack. And that's going to get you in foul trouble. And right now, Izzy Harrison cannot afford another foul.
5:25 to play in the third. Here is Weiss. Gets away from Davis. Back up top. Parker launches. Doesn't get the three. Candace Parker just 1 of 7 shooting the basketball tonight. Amani with a finger roll. Offensive foul. Amani McGee-Stafford.
She almost was able to clear Chelsea Gray and jump over her, but wasn't quite enough of a vertical to do it. And Imani knows. Imani knew this was a good call, but she probably should have read off that first dribble, that kick, and Chelsea Gray took her chances that was not a pass Imani McGee-Stafford was ready to make.
Well, that hurts because Imani McGee-Stafford picking up the foul. Luckily, that's only her first of the ball game.
I think that hurt Chelsea Gray more than that hurt Imani.
Parker gets around Amaya McGee-Stafford for the easy layup. Parker was 4 for the 2-time MVP in the league.
I heard a discussion a couple people were having about how Candace Parker is the best stretch 4 to play the game. Tough call being made.
That's a tough call because Pratt was initiating the contact, but did she use her arm on this?
Well, she's been able to create this foul a couple times in the game right now. But what Tiara Ruffin-Pratt is doing is showing hands and showing who's initiating the contact. And I think that's very good defense, actually, by Tiara Ruffin-Pratt.
And Enrique Ogunbowale picked up her third personal foul. Parker, nice ball movement. Weiss, an odd shot, knocks down the three.
That all got started with the play of Candace Parker. And as I was saying, I heard the discussion about Candace being the best stretch 4 to play the game. Here's my thing. I think Candace Clay is one of the best players to play our game. Her IQ is off the charts. And the other thing about her is she has no position. She's just always in position for success.
And Enrique knocks down the three. She's got 19. I agree with you. And you and I have talked about it for 4 years now. Positionless. Her position is her positioning and her skill set. She is a baller and doesn't need to be identified as one spot or another. And Izzy Harrison is going to be whistled for the infraction. Brooke McCarty-Williams will come in for the Wings. That's number 5 on Izzy. She picked up her 4th with 3:36 left in the second. Now she's got 5. She's going to have to sit down.
You bring congestion into the paint right here with this ISO.
Great. Tough ball away. Nneka Agumake with the offensive rebound and putback.
All the Dallas Wings players got caught watching the ISO play of Chelsea Gray. And in those situations, you've got to be ready to attach and box out off ball.
They always talk about putting a body on somebody when a shot goes up. Here's Amani to Brooke McCarty-Williams. 3.
That's a little inside-out basketball.
Brooke now with 6 in the ballgame, and the lead is cut to 6. Inside of 3 to play in the third. Great, tough shot. Oh, my goodness.
That crossover of hers is wide and low and quick. Nobody can touch it, and she uses her body so well.
And then Nneka has it blocked away. Here comes Candace Parker.
Good job, Brooke McCarty-Williams. Little BMW transition D.
Gray may have shuffled the feet. Little reverse scoop. No. Alicia Gray fights for it. Comes up with it. Wings have numbers if they hurry. Tough pass into Glory Johnson. Glory Johnson tied up. No foul called. Brian Agler cannot believe it. And Brian saying, got to pick up Gray. Quit arguing the call. Ball is loose. Ogunbowale comes up with it. And Nneka Agumake will commit the foul.
Well, we have an entire arena arena here at the College Park Center. Upset at the lack of calls. There's a lot of hustle plays on both ends of the floor in this volley action. But this is one that he really felt, as well as the entire arena. There was a foul here. And the official threw her hands up in the air and said, I didn't see anything. But it looked to me like there was enough warranted for a call. But Glory is good at utilizing her body to sell calls. So sometimes it's hard for officials to know.
And here's Glory with the three.
How on earth does that go in
I have
sometimes?
no idea.
But that's Glory. That's what she does.
And now we have a stoppage of play. I think a technical foul may have been called. I'm not sure. Tierra Ruffin-Pratt now talking to the officials. And Enrique Ogunbowale going down to the free throw line, but that was Glory Johnson's 12th point. She's perfect from beyond the arc, 4 of 4. Now the officials are going to talk about it.
Well, I think we're going to see a review, and I believe what happened was Tierra Ruffin-Pratt felt that there was maybe a hostile act, some unnecessary roughness off the ball, and she talked to the official, and the official decided, I think she must have seen enough that she wanted to go check it out herself.
Now we're going to get the official word, official explanation. We'll show the widest angle we have. Reagan, you got the word.
Well, I had it opposite, actually, in that the technical has already been called on Tierra Ruffin-Pratt, as we see the three there. But we're going to see in transition on the sideline by L.A. this little interaction, altercation, but it happens as it's running off the court between Enrique and Tierra Ruffin-Pratt. And it looked like Enrique put her body in the path that Tierra was running. Tierra didn't like it. The official must have seen some kind of, shove or something that was too much.
Well, one thing that you and I have learned over Enrique Ogunbowale, she doesn't back down to anyone. Here it is. Look at the left side, top left side. There's the shove right there. Well,
and I think enough of a good reaction by Enrique caused the official's attention. And so they're going to go look to see if it's a hostile act. I don't know if it's enough to warrant it, more than just the technical.
Well, right now, the Sparks have been to the line 11 times. They've made 10. The Wings, 6 of 7. And I bring that up because the last 3 games, the Wings have not been getting to the line. They're minus 40 in free throw attempts over the last 3.
Well, really, I think that's one of the biggest keys to whether they win games or not. Enrique, you can't rely on her to score, or any one player to score upwards near 30 points to help you win. It's the number of players that can make plays enough to get you to the free throw line. And Dallas has only gotten there sometimes 4 times a game, and that's got to go up.
Well, the technical foul will stand, no hostile act. And Enrique Ogunbowale already sitting on 19 points, trying to get number 20. This will be her 9th 20-point game this season, and she's got it.
The tough thing here for officials, I think, in these situations, as we see Tierra Ruffin-Pratt speak to the official about the situation, is the refs can't guard intent.
Exactly.
They have to guard what they see and what the actual act is. And I don't think Tierra Ruffin-Pratt intended to cause an altercation, but that's not what the refs can assess.
Enrique Ogunbowale, by the way, her career high is 25. Here's Ruffin-Pratt. Working on Enrique. Fall away. Got the bounce. Good shot. Lead goes back to 6. Inside of 1:30 to play here in the third.
I just have a little suspicion here that we see Elena Beard on the sideline and Enrique draws the charge by L.A. and again, tough call that nobody understands out of the team in blue. But Elena Beard was supposed to come in for Tierra Ruffin-Pratt. But I saw how Derek Fisher was talking to Elena, and I think changed that because he liked how Ruffin-Pratt is responding to the technical calls. And in this situation, I don't know how that's not a foul on a Gubicay.
I don't see that either. Unless they said maybe Enrique had her arm out, but she was didn't hit on that. Nevertheless, it's Sparks' ball. Oh, okay. Again, you and I just talked about the pump fakes.
Well, and Imani McGee-Stafford knew right away. She shook her head and acknowledged, I need to stay down. But that's such a believable pump fake. The timing of it is beautiful.
I'll say she is incredible. Whistle and a foul. Brooke McCarty-Williams did a nice job in that Phoenix game, getting rewarded almost by default, though, because of only 8 players. But still, she's getting playing time tonight, and she's making the most of it.
Yeah, she has to make the most of it. You know, all these players, they're not only still fighting for their team, but they're fighting for a roster spot next year, too.
Absolutely.
And so take advantage of every minute that you get.
Brooke McCarty-Williams will go out with 6 points in the ball game. Perfect 2 of 2 shooting. And Enrique Ogumawale will also go out. Megan Gustafson playing before a bunch of Iowa fans here tonight.
Well, we have both the Gumake sisters on the floor right now for LA. And I just want to say, I think the addition of Christine Anigwe to Dallas is not a surprise. Brian's used to coaching this LA team and is used to coaching players like these Ogumake sisters within his offense. And Anigwe is very similar to a younger Ogumake.
I agree.
Both of them. She doesn't have the three-point range yet, but I'm telling you, Nneka and Shanae didn't have it early in their careers either. They didn't develop that. I don't think Nneka developed that out in her game until probably 4 years ago.
Absolutely. And Christine Anigwe, the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year last year in college, also proved she can play offense, too. She's going to be a great addition.
Oh, yeah. She scored upwards 20 points a game without the three-point shot.
Well, that time Megan Gustafson, Kayla Davis got tied up. Ball will belong to the Sparks as Sydney Weiss comes back into the lineup. Third-year pro out of Oregon State. Didn't score at all last season, Weiss didn't. 64 points her rookie year. Coming into this game, she had 107. That's why we were talking about most improved. Off her hands. Alexis Jones. Into the hands of Alicia Gray. Nneka Ogumake to beat. Takes it to her hard. Doesn't get it. And Imani stepped out of bounds. It'll be the Sparks basketball.
That's great game plan defense out of LA. They know that Alicia Gray loves her left and is going to go left. And you saw that defender in transition shade that side early.
Here's a shot at the end of the third quarter. It won't go down for Alexis Jones. So the Sparks scored 22 in the second. They scored 22 in the third as we head to the final stanza. They look to extend their win streak to 6, and they lead by 8.
Welcome back to the College Park Center. The Wings trailing by 8 here at the end of the third quarter. And joining me is Wings assistant coach Crystal Robinson. Coach, you guys are trailing by 8. Where will you find your advantages in this fourth quarter?
I think that we got to get some easy baskets, and we got to get some stops, and then make them play against a set half-court defense and keep them out of transition.
The Wings are shooting 69% from the three-point line. What has allowed for that success beyond the arc?
Glory's gotten a lot of open shots. She's one of our best standstill shooters, and she's knocking them down.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
All right, Glory Johnson has been hot in this ball game, hitting all 4 of her three-pointers, 12 points in the ball game to go along with 4 rebounds and an assist. Izzy Harrison, 5 personal fouls, picked it up with 3:43 to play in the third. Played almost all the second quarter with 4 fouls. Big loss. You take the height, the shot blocking, and the offense, and have to put him on the bench. Gustafson, Ogumake on her, Glory. That's her record perfect. Wow.
She is a welcome sight from the three-point line. It needed one because LA is choosing to allow her to take those shots. So good for her and the team that she is knocking them down.
Came into this game career low points per game. Here, scoop, no. Glory pokes it. Imani's got it. Enrique shaking and baking, pull up over. Jones got it.
That's unguardable. That was essentially 1-on-3, and all those defenders were ready in front of her and to the side of her to take away driving angles, which they had to with the type of skill she has.
Good job of Monty McGee-Stafford rolling on defense.
Loved how Dallas has opened quarters and come out of timeouts in this game, and that's evidence that they're still locked in on this season.
7-0 run to begin the fourth and final quarter, and all of a sudden the lead is won for L.A.
This is a team that believes, and they've had a couple of losses that were by big numbers, but a lot of their games were so winnable that they've lost. And you're going to see this team keep fighting. I know you will.
Alicia Gray trying to keep up with Chelsea Gray, and Bediva with the two after a nice pass from Gray. Chelsea Gray, 5 assists in the ballgame tonight. Comes in averaging just under 6. Agumake, 1 off her career high. Blocking foul counted. Good job, Alicia Gray. That's what we saw a lot of her rookie year. Not afraid to get the contact and the and one.
Well, her rookie year, not a lot of teams had this figured out, that she loved to go left. Now they do, and this is a defensive mistake by L.A. that Alicia Gray capitalized off of. When she's allowed that left seam, that left hand, I think she can not only finish the easy ones, but she can really finish the tough ones.
This is the free throw. Pretty solid free throw shooter at 85%. They'll try it again.
You just felt it like that was going to happen for her.
You and 5,000 people inside the College Park Center felt that. Here's Gray, bumped off by Gray.
A reach.
The Diva. Gustafson just got a little bit of it.
More opportunity here for Dallas to play downhill.
And the Wings have regained the advantage on the shoulders of Glory Johnson.
See, this lineup that you see right now is a lineup that was very similar to the end of the game against Phoenix. But this right here, Glory's just patient, and the ability to split the double into a finish is, again, a momentum builder. And Glory's been doing a great job of finding those opportunities in this game that really feed her team a belief.
And a timeout's going to be called by Derek Fisher. Wings 11-2, outscoring his Sparks team here in the fourth. Glory Johnson with 17 in the ballgame, 1 off her season high. She has been outstanding. 5 for 5 from beyond the arc, 6 of 12 overall. We'll throw in 5 rebounds and 2 assists for good measure. And with that, we'll take a break. 7:30 to play in the ballgame. Glory Johnson has been on fire, 1 off her season high tonight.
Look, Glory's kind of flexing right now from that three-point line. And, you know, we talk about the mechanics sometimes. Her feet are pointing the total opposite way from the rim. And so I think sometimes that actually throws the defender off. But she is in rhythm with a lot of these threes. They're coming from an inside out or a ball reversal. And those are the type of shots that Brian Agler is okay with when they come from outside the offense. So great efficiency and productivity from Glory Johnson in tonight's game.
How about that? A career high and 3-point field goals made. Got the Wings back into this ball game. After they found themselves down by 10, now they lead by 1. Wings also led by 10 in that opening quarter.
So when the hit and run incident happened in the Phoenix game, Dallas was down 5, and players had to go out of the game, obviously, for both teams. And the lineup that Brian had on the floor for Dallas was very similar to this, with the exception of Brooke McCarty-Williams was on the floor. And he loved the efforts that team played with, and it resulted in a W. So don't be surprised to see Brian take some chances with some fresh legs into the game.
Shot clock at 3. Alexis Jones, 2, 1. Lets it fly. No, here comes Enrique. Got Gray on the left side. Bodies flying everywhere. Enrique, no. Bediva with the rebound. Up ahead, Agumake. Jones, Megan Gustafson kept her from getting the easy layup.
Derek Fisher is very unhappy with the sideline official because he really felt like that screen in transition, which is an on-ball screen called a drag screen, was a blind illegal screen. But it is a legal screen. And we've seen that exact screen in the backcourt cause serious injury. But this is just a lack, I think, of communication. And the way Glory started to roll out of that made it look like it was illegal in the way that hit. But I think the initial contact was permissible.
Well, Glory Johnson has been very active defensively tonight. By the way, this is our second tie and our third lead change. Sparks trying to extend that win streak to 6 games.
Tell you what, LA's got me scared because if you take a look at their roster and just the rotations they're getting ready to make, they're going to take off the floor really, really good players and put on really, really good players. There's so much depth to this LA Sparks team. When they get all the way healthy, and an Elena Beard finds her rhythm and flow, and the Diva finds her confidence, they're going to be scary.
College Park Center is proud to be the home of the Dallas Wings, and you can learn more about UTA and College Park Center events at utatickets.com. Along with Reagan Feedley, I'm Ron Coolin. 6:30 to play right now in the ball game. Sparks by 1. Glory with 2 on the shot clock. Doesn't get it. Alicia Gray takes it away from the yellow jersey. Glory in the home season.
Great off-ball activity there. Not giving up on the play. And great vision by Alicia Gray. She deserves a lot of credit in that play being finished.
The Diva from the outside for 3. Glory Johnson pulls away the rebound. Number 6 for her.
That's that horns action they like to run when the Diva comes in. And I think Dallas has done a really good job of being consistent in how they want to guard it.
Enrique, no. Gustafson fights for the rebound. Enrique tries it again. No. The Diva the rebound.
Megan Gustafson's done a nice job with her minutes. She doesn't try to do too much. She stays within her role. She's dependable and reliable and gives great effort.
Enrique takes it away, and the Diva will commit the foul. Let's go back to the last offensive play for the Dallas Wings, and it was pretty.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that shot necessarily wasn't pretty, but the results of it, the offensive rebound, and then again, we see here offensive rebounding will oftentimes lead to a high percentage shot, whether it's the layup or an open three, but that doesn't happen without the vision and the off-ball action of both of those players.
Glory Johnson has played 26 minutes. Gray, 32. Ogunbowale, 34. Those 3 are going to have to play a lot more. Amani with the foul. Go to the line, Amani. It's your day.
I'm loving our Big 12 players in this game. They are playing with some great intensity and impact. And Imani McGee-Stafford, I know this game's important for her. Recovery night is what this game is called here at College Park Center with Dallas, and she has a heart and an empathy for all of those people in this arena who can understand what it means to recover. And she's playing as much for them as she is for her teammates.
Well, Imani tonight, 6 points. She's got 7 rebounds. Wings lead extended to 4, just about halfway home here in the 4th. Amani extending the defense on the Diva.
You see some ball pressure being extended by everybody with Dallas, trying to create some turnovers.
They read the play where Agumake rolls perfectly. Glory with the steal, and they'll set it up.
How about that growth right there out of Enrique? Recognizing, let's not force it. It's more important that we get a good shot, not just a shot.
Enrique's with a new career high, 26 points tonight.
That has to give Brian Agler goose pimples.
Oh, yeah.
When you see a player, you know the light switch is on, and you just want to see it stay on.
But Ogumake, no. Izzy Harrison back into the lineup with 5 personal fouls.
She's still got it.
Wow,
She's reading it. She's controlling her team and tempo. And now she's putting players where they need to be on the floor to set up this alignment for the most success it can get.
Harrison, they're going to call that a travel. Anytime you have that quick move.
Yeah, just a little drag, a little. She foot fakes with her left and then attacks with her right and put the dribble down too late.
Well, Sydney Weiss will check back in the lineup once again. An outstanding three-point shooter. Glory putting out a little pressure. I like it.
Well, they like to do this against LA, and right now they're applying it with fresh legs and length with Glory. Now, you can never count a team like LA out. They were down 16 against Chicago the other night and came back and won, and it's their veteran experience and the depth of their roster that they are able to do it. And second chance opportunities like that is what also allows them to always stay in the game.
Well, Nneka Ogumake does not have quit in her dictionary. The ultimate give-it-all-you-got player. Just love her game. Here is Enrique. Rough and Pratt again, bellying up to her. Enrique does not mind it. Shot clock at 2. Amani will blow up that prayer. Won't get answered. Good job by Candace Parker.
Maybe too much patience.
Watch this by Nneka, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before that when God made the Ogumake, he said, you shall rebound. And so whether it's on the offensive end, the defensive end, someone else's shot or her own shot, she has such a great ability. And sometimes people say, oh, she's got a knack for it. No, she works her tail off for it.
Brian Agler, when he coached her, said she's a joy to coach and great for the game. Going to leave Nneka wide open, doesn't make him pay. Amani takes it away from Parker.
It's a fortunate miss because she's the second best three-point shooter on this team and one of the top in the WNBA.
Let's see who has the stamina the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Rough and Pratt, Enrique. Enrique keeps her dribble. Showtime!
How about them apples?
Wow, with a capital W.
Just awesome poise and patience. And what's so important about this possession is not only did they wind the clock down, but they also finished it with 2 points and extended the lead to 6.
Dallas Wings basketball is brought to you by Baylor Scott and White Health, changing healthcare for the better. And how about Dee Dee Richards plays for Baylor? Also has got a little move. I don't think you're allowed to dance at Baylor.
No, I think you are. But look, Dee Dee, I figured out what Dee Dee stands for. It stands for defense and diva. She's got them both. Look at her. She knows how to play some ball and clearly knows how to dance. But Enrique knows how to score. And that is what Dallas needs out of her. She's a playmaker in all kinds of ways tonight. Off the bounce, off the catch, off the on-ball, in transition. And that when you can score like that, you're going to see a career night, as we've seen. And this is maybe our favorite play out of Enrique because the poise, the patience, and the composure she had in that situation to finish the play.
New career high in points, one off her career high in rebounds. Gray, nobody bought the pump fake from the corner again. What would you think? Nneka Ogumake when you need a hoop. Lead cut to 4, closing in on 2 minutes left in the ballgame.
Well, we've got the 2-minute drill right now out of these two teams, and both of them are going to be fighting hard for this. LA's trying to extend a win streak. Dallas is trying to turn a one-game win streak into 2 and keep this home court advantage.
The bag is open.
Give her the ball at the end of the game. And what we trust now about Enrique and her development is she's not going to just take any shot. She's going to help that team find the best shot.
30 points for Enrique. Glory comes up with a loose ball. Enrique can't get it. Ball is still loose. They're going to call a foul. And that'll be on Enrique.
Those are just the calls that players and coaches cannot stand because hustle plays you don't want to see hustle plays turn into fouls. But honestly, this might have been the best situation for Dallas because it looked like it was going to end up in LA's ball, and Dallas did not have rim protection. It was going to be 2 points for LA.
I'm going to have that explained to me.
But let's just move on. Let's take a page out of the Brian Agler book, and let's just move on and us focus on that. It's next possession, next play. But now you're going to get to have a set defense instead of probably giving up 2 points in that situation.
Enrique, though, now with 5 personal fouls with 1:32 to play.
She's going to be all right.
Was not a shooting foul, but that was the 4th team foul on the Wings. 5 team fouls on the Sparks. Lead is a half a dozen. I think they're checking the clock over at the replay just to make sure that it stopped on time. And
it's great to see so many people out here supporting the Dallas Wings. Some big-time people. Obviously, we've got a pretty good Baylor crew here. We've got, Travis Mays from SMU, I think, is here. A lot of people here supporting the Guma Case, being from Texas. A lot of great attendance tonight.
They set the shot clock to 24. Gray. Guma Case rolls. Beautiful play. They've run that a couple of times tonight.
Alicia just knows Chelsea just knows when she comes off an on ball and engages her screener's defender, it's probably no longer about her. She needs to find the open man.
Enrique. Ruffin Pratt trying to stay with her. Harrison sets the pick. Ball tipped into the hands of the Sparks. Parker was open. Didn't get it to her.
What you might see LA start to do is really attack 2 players, and Chelsea, little defensive stop here with Glory.
That's going to be a blocking foul on Chelsea Gray. She can't believe it. Candace Parker pleading her case. Glory Johnson is down. Derek Fisher and even former Wings coach Fred Williams on the other side pleading their case.
Well, Candace, I think, really feels that there was an elbow dropped into her chest, which in this situation, the restricted arc is called off because you're in transition. There's no secondary defender. The restricted arc does not matter. And so what I think Candace had a good view is that the Glory, she felt like dipped her shoulder, but I don't think it was that easy of a call, a decision for the official to make. You got 50 seconds left in the game here. Dallas with an opportunity to extend this lead with the free throws. Both teams have their timeout. I think we'll see both teams utilize opportunities like this to control offense, defense, substitutions, and lineups.
Now they go for a little defense, putting Imani McGee-Stafford in there. Kayla Davis comes out. 2 20-second timeouts left for the Sparks. A full and a 20 for the Wings. And Derek Fisher will burn one of the timeouts. 20 points over Glory Johnson defensively now. You have to go with what the Wings are going to try to do. And when you think about the baskets that the Sparks have needed tonight, they've always run that little roll situation with Nneka Agumake strategy.
Well, again, I know what Chelsea Gray loves is when she's got an on-ball screener like Nneka Agumake coming up, and then she's got a player like Candace out on her wing stretching the defense, really forcing defenders to choose where they're going to guard. And Chelsea reads those positions and those angles so well. So I'm sure they're setting up something like that, maybe some action prior to shift the defense. Now, Dallas is talking about how they're going to guard it and making sure that off-ball defense is really ready to rotate and, again, take a page out of LA's book and blow up the plays off the ball.
That's what they're going to try to do with 48.7 seconds left in the ball game. 24 on the shot clock. Glory Johnson will guard the inbounds pass. Chelsea Gray will toss it in.
We have 2 players on the floor right now also not wanting to foul out of the game for Dallas with 5 fouls.
And they throw it away. Enrique. Candace Parker tried to foul her, didn't do it.
Opportunity to use some clock. Keep it in your free throw shooter's hands right now. Great call and decision. Brian was telling the team, get away from Enrique. Create some spacing so that she could either make a decision to keep the ball to draw the foul or to make a pass with space.
Enrique 3 of 3 from the line, coming off 16 free throw attempts in the Phoenix game. Career high, stays perfect. 31 for Enrique tonight.
Well, we see right now Dallas has gotten to the free throw line 14 times. And again, I think when they can get to the free throw line 12 times, 13 times or more, they're giving themselves a chance to win. Their defense has been sufficient. Their offense is doing everything it can. Neko Gumike is on the floor in pain, and Fisher has stormed onto the floor, upset that a foul has not been called.
And Derek Fisher just got tossed from the game. Neko Gumike was in obvious pain holding out of that left arm.
This is what I mean by players coach right now, honestly. He played this game. He fights for his team. He's passionate about it. Everyone, especially the Wings bench, is really aware right now how to handle this situation coming off of the Phoenix game. But Derek Fisher has been asking for this foul all game. And it's the drag screen, blind on-ball screen.
Here it is again.
He doesn't like it. I hate this call, or I hate this play, because I believe people get hurt.
Yeah.
When a defender is going full speed against a full speed offensive player, they do not have time to adjust and move their feet.
Derek Fisher wants to make sure he gets his money's worth. Very slow to get off the court.
Well, the official who called the fee is not giving him one look. As probably she shouldn't right now.
She shouldn't. No, it's very professional.
But she's handling her business the right way. But we'll see Freddie Basin-Williams take on the role that he's very familiar with, head coach. And this team's got a ton of confidence in him to help them finish out this game.
Got some great help with Patricia Trammell, the pride of Seminole, Oklahoma. You see her there on Fred's right, our left. Outstanding coach in her own right. And Enrique with 31.3 left opened up an 8-point advantage.
It's one thing for, I think, a coach to get a technical off the sideline, but when an official gets ejected because they storm it out, essentially, he was running at, and his team held him back. And I don't know what was going to happen had he gotten there all the way. And I'm sure that's something the league has to look at and address. And again, Derek Fisher has always been a passionate coach. Watch him. And his team loves him. Because he stands up for them all the time. You just got to find maybe a better way to handle it where you can finish the game out with your squad.
Here is Ray for three. Counted in the foul.
Shut the front door.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
When you think the game is probably out of hand at this point, Chelsea Gray goes and does something like that. That's that greatness, that point God that we're talking about. And it's not only a three-point shot, but it's an and one at a much-needed time.
Lead still 6. Lead at 5. Timeout's going to be called by Brian Agler with 27.6 left in the ball game. Sparks with only one timeout left, a 20. Wings have a couple of 20 timeouts. We knew that with 8 players are going to have to play extended minutes. How about Alicia Gray and Enrique Ogunbowale playing almost the entire game?
And not only that, let's talk about, Enrique with her minutes has done a great job on the offensive end of scoring. But what Alicia Gray's been challenged to do on the defensive end is tremendous. She's had a matchup that is always hard, even when she gets a breather. And coming off of Chelsea Gray, she's still got to guard a scorer because that's what LA has. They got scorers everywhere.
Well, Enrique is the first Wings rookie with 30 points since 2014. How about this, though? Wings, 2 consecutive games where officials have played into it.
Yeah, well,
and it might be 2 wins.
Yeah, but the officials they're reacting to the actions of those competing in the game, and so it's not on them. It's not their fault. But that's that. that you just said about Enrique, just another reason why she would get my vote for Rookie of the Year if we had to vote today.
I think she made her case tonight. 12 of 21 shooting, 6 rebounds, 1 off her season high. Enrique sees the double, gets away from Parker.
Using some flops. Every second that you can utilize in this situation plays definitely to your advantage. When you have a lead, you want the clock to run. When you don't have the lead, you want it to stop.
I was hoping she'd do a little curly kneel thing there.
We don't need that right
kneel?
now. I do, okay. But we don't need that right now. No curly kneel right now.
Just stay away from them.
Stay fundamental.
Enrique 35. And I think when the voters look at signature games, if you will, this would be Enrique's.
Yeah, and look, she didn't just do it against a team that's at the bottom of the league. She did it against probably the hottest team in the league right now.
Her first miss, 9 free throws.
Don't foul.
Agumake for 3. That'll be off the mark. Rebound. Glory tips it to Alicia Gray. For the first time since June 15th and 18th, the Wings have won back-to-back games. Snapping LA's 5-game win streak. Kayla Thornton, Christine Anigwe, I'm sure you're cheering wherever you're watching the game, but what an effort by your teammates.
Great win. A huge win on the heels of a game that could have been a big disruption.